Hello and welcome. Tonight we're diving into a story that will make you think twice before answering a late-night call. Get comfortable, turn down the lights, and let's begin. Our story is titled, The Call That Comes Exactly at Midnight. Pause. It was a night like any other. Silent, cold, and soaked in the kind of darkness that made you question if the world outside your window still existed. We meet Sarah in her late 20s, alone in her quiet suburban house. The rain taps a gentle rhythm against the glass as a storm brews outside. She's scrolling on her phone, a warm cup of coffee steaming beside her on the couch. She sighs, a whisper in the silent room. Another night alone. Midnight can't come soon enough. The irony of her words hangs in the air, a premonition she can't yet feel. The clock on the wall ticks loudly, each second stretching into an eternity. 11:58. 11:59. As the final minute of the day begins, the storm outside intensifies. The lights in her living room flicker once, twice, then steady themselves, casting long dancing shadows. And then, precisely as the clock strikes midnight, the silence is shattered. A loud, old-fashioned ringtone cuts through the night. Sarah jumps, startled. "Who the hell is calling this late?" she mutters, her heart thumping. She picks up the phone. "Hello?" The only reply is silence, punctuated by a faint, unsettling sound of breathing on the other end. "Is someone there?" she asks, her voice trembling slightly. The line goes dead. She hangs up, a knot of unease tightening in her stomach. Before she can even process it, the phone rings again. Same number, same jarring ringtone. Hesitantly, she answers. "Hello?" This time, a voice responds, a distorted, guttural whisper that sends a chill down her spine. "Don't hang up." Her hand begins to shake. "Who is this?" she demands, trying to keep her voice steady. The voice replies with a simple, terrifying command. "Look outside your window." Every instinct screams at her not to, but she can't resist. She slowly walks to her living room window, her breath held tight in her chest. She parts the curtains just enough to see. The storm is raging now. A sudden flash of lightning illuminates the street outside, and for a horrifying split second, she sees it. A tall, slender figure standing motionless by the lamppost across the street. A silhouette against the storm. "Oh my God!" she whispers, stumbling back from the window. Her heart pounds against her ribs. Just then, the phone rings again. Relentless, unnerving. She stares at it, refusing to answer. It rings and rings, the sound echoing through the house, seeming to grow louder, more demanding with each passing second. Then it stops. The sudden silence is almost as terrifying as the ringing. A moment later, her phone screen lights up with a new text message. It reads, "Why didn't you answer?" Before she can even react, her phone screen goes black. The power in the entire house cuts out, plunging her into absolute darkness. The only light is from a single decorative candle on her coffee table, its tiny flame flickering wildly. The narrator's voice seems to whisper in her ear. Midnight had come, and with it, the call she should have never answered. In the pitch-black room, Sarah fumbles for the flashlight on her phone, but it won't turn on. Then, just as suddenly as it died, the screen flickers back to life. But it's not her home screen. It's her own face, staring back at her, caught in a grainy, low-light video call. She's looking at herself through the phone's camera. What is this?" she stammers. The distorted voice returns, but this time it's clearer, deeper, and sounds impossibly close. "You shouldn't be alone tonight, Sarah." She freezes. Ice floods her veins. "How do you know my name?" she cries out. The voice seems to chuckle, a dry, rasping sound. "I've called before. You just never picked up." As the voice speaks, the camera on her phone seems to pan around the room on its own, showing the shadows behind her. Through the window, the tall figure is no longer by the lamppost. It's closer now, standing at the edge of her lawn. Still, motionless. Panicked, she tries to dial 911. Her fingers tremble as she presses the numbers. The call connects instantly. 911. What's your emergency? A distorted voice asks, the same voice as the caller. Someone's outside my house. Please. She sobs, but the voice cuts her off, its tone chillingly calm. I'm not outside anymore. She drops the phone. It clatters to the floor. Absolute silence descends upon the house, and then she hears it. A soft, deliberate footstep from the floor above. Clutching a kitchen knife she grabbed in a blind panic, Sarah moves towards the staircase, her body trembling uncontrollably. Every creak of the floorboards, every whisper of the wind outside, feels like the house itself is holding its breath, waiting. Suddenly, the lights flicker back on for a brief, blinding moment. At the top of the stairs stands a figure. It's wearing an old, coiled rotary phone cord wrapped tightly around its neck like a noose. The lights die again, plunging her back into darkness. "Who are you?" she screams into the void. The voice answers, but this time it comes from right behind her. "You answered me. That's all that matters." A deafening clap of thunder cracks outside, and a flash of lightning reveals the figure standing directly behind her. It has no face, no features, just a smooth, blank surface where a head should be, shaped like the receiver of an old telephone. The screen distorts, glitching violently as the sound of a dial tone fills the room, overwhelming everything before it all cuts to black. We hear only heavy, panicked breathing. Then, the phone rings again. The camera shows us the phone, vibrating on the wooden floor where Sarah dropped it. The caller ID reads, "Unknown, 12 a.m. A hand, pale and not Sarah's, slowly reaches into the frame and picks it up. A new voice, calm and clear, answers. "Hello." A narrator's voice concludes the tale as distorted radio static fades in. Every night, at exactly midnight, the call repeats. No one knows where it comes from, or what it wants. The next morning, the scene is flooded with the cold blue and red lights of police cars. The front door of the house is broken open. Inside, a detective stands in the living room, holding the old coiled phone cord in an evidence bag. "There's no record of any incoming call," he says to his partner. "The line's been dead for years." He looks around the silent, empty house. Then, from inside the evidence bag he's holding, he hears a faint, muffled ring. The screen goes black, but the sound continues. Ring, ring, ring. Have you ever received a call from an unknown number late at night? You know, the kind that makes the hair on your arm stand up before you even answer? Well, let me tell you about a call that wasn't just late. It was precise. It came exactly at midnight, every single night. It started a few weeks ago. The first time it happened, I was half asleep, binging a new series. The phone screen lit up, displaying unknown caller. I ignored it, figuring it was just a wrong number. But the next night, at precisely 12 a.m., it rang again, and the night after that. Same time, same unknown caller. My curiosity started to get the better of my common sense. Who would be this persistent? On the fourth night, I decided to answer. I waited, phone in hand, my heart pounding in my chest as the clock ticked closer to midnight. 11:59. And then, right on cue, the screen lit up. I took a deep breath and swiped to answer. "Hello?" I said, trying to sound braver than I felt. But there was nothing. Just pure, dead silence. Not even the faint static you'd expect from a bad connection. It was like calling into a void. I said, "Hello?" A few more times, louder each time. Still nothing. After about 30 seconds of this unnerving silence, the call ended. This became our little routine. Every night at midnight, my phone would ring. I'd answer, say hello, and be met with a wall of silence before the call disconnected itself. It was bizarre, and, I'll admit, pretty creepy. I tried everything. I blocked the number, but it would just call from a different, unknown line the next night. I contacted my service provider, but they said they couldn't trace a call without a number. I was stuck in this strange, silent loop. I started documenting it. I'd record my screen, showing the call coming in at exactly midnight. I'd record the silence, hoping to catch even the faintest sound. Friends told me to just turn my phone off, but I couldn't. I had to know. Was it a prank, a glitch, or something else entirely? The mystery was consuming me. I spent hours online searching for similar stories, diving into forums about ghost calls and phantom signals. Some people had experienced something similar, but never with this kind of clockwork precision. One night, I decided to change my approach. Instead of speaking, I would just listen. Maybe my voice was preventing something from coming through. So, at midnight, I answered and held the phone to my ear, holding my breath. The silence was there, as always. But this time, after about 20 seconds, I heard it. It was incredibly faint, almost imperceptible. A soft, rhythmic sound. Thump, 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 thump. It sounded familiar. My blood ran cold as I realized what it was. It was a heartbeat. I hung up immediately, my hand trembling. A heartbeat? Whose heartbeat? And why was I hearing it through my phone? The questions spiraled in my mind, each one more terrifying than the last. The calls were no longer just a weird prank. They had crossed into something deeply unsettling. That night, I barely slept, the sound of that faint heartbeat echoing in my ears. The next day, I was a wreck. I couldn't focus on anything. All I could think about was midnight. Would it call again? Would I hear the heartbeat? I decided I needed to get to the bottom of this no matter how scared I was. I thought about the sound. Thump, thump. It was slow, steady, almost weak. It didn't sound like a healthy, living person's heartbeat. That evening, I went to my grandmother's house. She'd passed away a year ago, and her house had been sitting empty ever since. I don't know why I went there. It was just a gut feeling. I let myself in with the old key I still had. The air was stale, and a layer of dust covered everything. It was a time capsule of her life. I walked through the quiet rooms, memories flooding back. I ended up in her bedroom. On her bedside table, next to a dusty lamp and a stack of old books, was her old rotary phone. It was a beautiful, vintage thing, but it hadn't been connected in years. On a whim, I picked up the heavy receiver and held it to my ear. Of course, there was no dial tone, just silence. But it was a different kind of silence than the one on my cell phone. This was an empty, hollow silence. As I stood there, lost in thought, my cell phone vibrated in my pocket. I pulled it out. It was 11:58 p.m. My heart started racing. I was going to get the call right here in her house. As the clock on my phone hit 12:02 a.m., the screen lit up. Unknown caller. With a shaky hand, I answered and put it on speaker. The room was filled with that same dead silence. And then it happened. From the old rotary phone I was still holding to my other ear, I heard a sound, a faint click, and then a voice. It was frail, weak, and instantly recognizable. "Hello, dear," it whispered. It was my grandmother's voice. I dropped my cell phone on the bed, my whole body shaking. The voice from the disconnected phone continued. "I was just calling to see if you were okay. I miss you." I couldn't speak. I just stood there, tears streaming down my face, listening to the impossible voice of my grandmother through a dead phone line, while my own phone projected nothing but silence. The call had never been for me, not really. It was a bridge, a connection that my modern phone could intercept but not understand. The silence I was hearing was the space between two worlds. The heartbeat wasn't a threat. It was a fading echo of a life I missed so dearly. After a few moments, the voice faded, and the line went quiet. My cell phone call ended at the same time. I stood in that dusty room for what felt like hours, clutching the old rotary phone. The nightly calls stopped after that. Midnight became just another minute on the clock. I never heard the voice again, but I don't feel scared anymore. I feel at peace. It was a final goodbye, a call from somewhere beyond to let me know that love somehow finds a way to connect even when the line is dead. So, if you ever get a strange call, maybe don't be so quick to dismiss it. You never know who might be trying to reach you. Thanks for listening to my story. If you have any experiences like this, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories from the edge of reality. Stay safe and always answer the call.